Hi there, I'm Cath. Welcome to my channel Made by Cath Craft. Thank you so much for joining me today. And if you've watched my channel before, you'll know that I love to talk on my channel all about sewing, patterns, fabric, everything sewing related. And today's video is going to be all about what I've been sewing in July. And we're really lucky in the UK because we finally got some sunny weather in July. I think May and June were a bit of a washout. It was really cold. I was still in my jeans and my wintry jumpers. So finally in July we got some lovely hot weather and it got really inspired to do some summery sewing. So yeah, I've got some really summery makes to share with you. I've got some dresses, a pair of summery trousers and a couple of other bits. And I can't wait to talk all about them. But I thought I'd start this video by sharing first of all what I'm wearing today. And today it's a little bit more overcast outside, but it's still a bit muggy, so I've got something fairly summery on still. And I am wearing a Kaielo wrap dress by Named Clothing. And I've got the old version of this pattern, and I'll show you here. It's a really pretty wrap dress. The line drawing shows you kind of make it in this shape, which almost reminds me of a flying squirrel. And then you wrap it round to create a really pretty silhouette here. And you can make it in woven or stretch fabrics, which is quite cool. And the new version actually has more options. This one is just a sleeveless wrap dress, but the new version that Named released, I don't know, a few months ago at least, has a jumpsuit version and also a sleeve add-on and slightly different ways of finishing the neckline, so it's got more variations. But as I said, I've got the old version, but I did get the free sleeve add-on that used to be available online, so I've added short sleeves to my version. And I'll put a picture up of me wearing it so you can see. I made it in this really fun bright pink jersey fabric that I got from an online shop that's unfortunately closed down since. But I really love it. It kind of reminds me of kind of almost painting with all those different splodges of colour on. And it's really comfy to wear because it's made in jersey. And I think I made the size 2 on this one. I sized down, I think. I'm in between a size 2 and 4, but I sized down to the size 2 because there's quite a lot of room around the waist and hips because you are wrapping it. So yeah, it's quite a nice one because it's not too critical on the fit, but it's really comfy to wear and quite fun, I think, in this pink fabric. And I just sort of cropped it just above my knee. I thought it's quite a practical length for running around after the children. It does look lovely in a long length too, but I'm not sure I'd get so much wear out of that length. So yeah, every version I've made has been in a shorter length. But that's what I'm wearing today, the Kaielo wrap dress by Named Clothing. Yeah, it just makes me feel quite happy when I'm wearing this bright pink fabric. But now let me move on to what I've been making in July. So the first make I've got to share with you for July is a dress, and I made it using this pattern here, which is the Davenport dress pattern by Friday Pattern Company. And this is a new pattern released this year, and it's been really popular on Instagram. I'd seen lots of lovely versions, so I really wanted to give it a go. And it's got some loads of lovely details, this pattern. So it's quite a relaxed dress because it's got an elasticated neckband here. So there's no sort of fiddly ties or like zips or fastenings because you can just pull it on over your head because of the elastic. It's got a little interesting front yoke detail which almost makes it look like it's got raglan sleeves, I think, but it's a front yoke and a back yoke with some gathering. Flutter sleeves. Then it's got a elasticated cuff with another little ruffle, a drawstring waist, slash pockets and a skirt ruffle. So yeah, there's loads going on it. So I wasn't sure if it would suit me because there's quite a lot going on and it doesn't always suit my frame, but I really wanted to give it a go. So I thought, it's designed for light to medium weight woven fabrics, and I decided to make mine in a cotton lawn fabric which I got from Minerva, and I'll include links to all the fabrics and patterns if they're available in the description down below in case you fancy checking them out. But I'll show you the fabric I chose for my version. I'll show you my version, and it is here. So I chose this cotton lawn by Lady McElroy, and I've worked with Lady McElroy cotton lawns before and they're always really nice and light and soft, but they've got a bit of crispness, and I thought a cotton lawn would be good for kind of holding the shape of the little details like the flutter shoulder detail. And I chose it in this white fabric with little black spots on, which I thought was quite cute. It would make quite a pretty summery version of the Davenport dress. So that's the fabric I chose. And in terms of sizing, Friday Pattern Company, they're a really inclusive pattern company. So the size range is quite wide. It goes from extra small, which has a bust of 32 inches, up to 7X, which has a bust of 60 inches. And I decided to make the extra small size. So my measurements are 32, 26, 36. And the extra small size is designed for a bust of 32, waist 24, 25, hips 34, 35. So kind of my bust, but a bit smaller on the waist and hips. When I looked at the finished garment measurements for this one, they looked like there was loads of room in there, plenty of ease, so I thought I'd go for the extra small, and I'm glad I did, because even the extra small I found came up a little bit on the big side. So that is the only thing with this pattern, I think. If you had smaller measurements than me, you might struggle with it because it might end up looking a little bit big. But yeah, I made mine with the extra small size, but I did make some tweaks to it in the end, because during the process of making, it didn't exactly look as I wanted it to. The nice thing about it, I guess, is it's got the drawstring waist, so you can kind of pull it in to fit you around the waist, regardless of what size you make, which is quite nice for fitting. So I decided to make the extra small, but I lengthened the bodice because I find I'm 5'6" and I've got a fairly long body, so I often do find I need to lengthen the bodice, so I thought I'd do that. But when I came to sort of sewing the dress up, I actually found that the body came up a bit long on me, so I ended up chopping it back to where the pattern sat. So I thought I'd mention that, even though it wasn't an alteration I ended up making. I thought I'd mention that because in case you lengthen the bodice, you may not need to on this one, or if you have a shorter body, you might want to shorten it slightly. So that's one adjustment I made and then unmade. I then also found, when I had sewn it up and I planned to make the long sleeve version, it ended up looking like it was wearing me a little bit, and I thought I'd put a picture up so you can see what it looked like at that stage, because I often find when you see the finished garment on Instagram, it looks absolutely beautiful, but sometimes during the sort of process of sewing, it doesn't always go right, and I thought it's nice to share that too so you can see how it looked halfway through. So yeah, I'll put that picture up. So I was planning to make the full length sleeves, but I found in this fabric, I guess because it's kind of white as well, I felt like I looked a bit like an angel from a nativity play at that point. So I thought, oh, that's not really looking right. I need to do something to make it fit me a bit better so it's not swamping me and making me feel, yeah, like I'm in a nativity play. So I decided to shorten the sleeves and I cropped them to elbow length. And then instead of doing the kind of full-on ruffle on the sleeve, I just made a simple elasticated channel and added some elastic, just to kind of tone down the dress a little bit, because as I said, there's quite a lot going on and I felt like it might end up wearing me. So I shortened the sleeves, added a plain elastic channel. And then when I got to adding the ruffle on, I found it came up a little bit long on me. I'm not a big midi dress fan on myself, although I love them on other people. And it was just coming up a little bit too much towards the midi length, I found. But I really liked how it looked at the back and how the kind of skirt tiers sat at the back. So what I decided to do was, I decided to make a high-low hem. So I took some length off the front, the main skirt tier, this one here. I took about 2.5 inches off here, and then I kind of gently curved it round to the back. I never kind of made a high-low hem before, so it was just a sort of trial and error process. Just to kind of give that little bit shorter length at the front to make me feel more comfortable, like it suited me. So I'll put up a picture so you can see how the high-low hem looks, and so you can see how it looks with the shorter arms. And I'm really pleased with it now actually, and I really like it. So I'm glad I took a bit of time to have a play about with it and make those adjustments. So yeah, and I think I'm going to get some good wear out of this one. But I do think I might fancy making a drapier version in the future, and that might suit me better, just because it might hang a little bit more, in a relaxed fashion on me. I guess there's a bit more body given by the cotton lawn, which shows off the lovely pattern details, but maybe, a drapier version might be lovely, maybe in a darker colour as well for winter, I don't know. I'll have a think. But yeah, it was a really fun sew actually. So although I had to make some tweaks, I did really enjoy the sewing process. I find Friday Pattern Company instructions are really good, and they had some really fun little sewing details there, like how you attach the elastic around the neckline and putting the yoke in, it kind of gets sandwiched together. So there were a lot of fun details to sew and a few bits to get your teeth into. I would mention though, there is a lot of gathering. So if you're not keen on gathers, it might not be for you. But it's a lovely pattern with some really pretty details, and I'll put one more picture up so you can see how it looks from the front on. I'm glad I made the adjustments and made it work for me. But that is the Friday Pattern Company Davenport dress. Oh, and I thought I'd mention, I have written a blog post on with a review of the Davenport dress, and I also talk through the adjustments I made in that blog post too. So I'll put a link down to that in the description box below in case you fancy having a read. So my next make I've got to share with you is another dress, and this one this time is using this pattern here, and it is the Plum dress pattern by Cocowawa Crafts. And this is a pattern I've used before. It's really pretty. It's a baby doll style dress with a gathered skirt, and it's got a really lovely button down back feature. And then you can either make a sort of long sleeve, more wintry version, or this is the version I made, a summery version with these lovely flutter sleeves, which I think are a really nice feature, and they're what kind of attracted me to the pattern in the first place. And it's designed for light to medium weight woven fabric, so it works in a whole range of fabrics. So I think it's one of those patterns that's really versatile. And I made my first version last year. Again, it was this version here with the ruffle in a double gauze fabric, and I've really enjoyed wearing it. And I always felt like I wanted to make another summery version in a viscose, because I thought that would give quite a different effect. So I thought I'd give that a go this year. And the Plum dress has a really inclusive size range too. So it has a B cup version, which goes from UK 6 to 24, and a D cup version, which goes from UK 18 to 36. And so yeah, I'll show you the fabric I chose for my version. And this is actually a fabric that I'd had in my stash for ages. And I bought it from Sew Me Sunshine, and I really loved it, but I did buy it with no particular pattern in mind. And I always find that a bit dangerous. I try not to do that too much, because I often then get really indecisive over it, and then I don't want to leave it too long in case it's one of those fabrics I sort of fall out of love with before I've had a chance to sew it up. So I was really keen to get it sewn up this summer so I could enjoy wearing it, because it's a lovely summery fabric. There's this fabric here. So yeah, it's a viscose fabric, and it's got a black base with lots of pretty flowers on in whites and yellows and pinks and sort of purples. And I'm not a big lilac sort of wearer, but I quite like this one because it's got the black base and the yellows too. So I think it kind of sort of pairs down the lilac a little bit, I guess. So yeah, I was really keen to make it up, and I suddenly thought, oh, the Plum dress would be great for that. So I thought I'm going to cut this out before I start getting all ummy and ahhry again about what I'm going to make. So this is my version, and as I said, I made the version with the little flutter sleeves. And it's got some lovely details. The Plum dress, one thing I like about it is the neckline's finished with bias binding, which I think is a really nice finish. So I just made some bias binding in the same fabric as the dress. And it's also got pockets. Again, I used the same fabric as the dress. And then I had a bit of fun with the buttons on this one. I chose these little yellow buttons, which I had these from when I made a Calais shirt dress a couple of months ago. And I think I had to get like a pack of 20 buttons, and I didn't need that many for the Calais, so I had plenty left, so I was quite pleased they worked for this project too. And then I added black thread on to kind of tie them in with the black background, so that's the back of the dress with the buttons. And I think I added one more button than the pattern specifies, just because I feel with viscose sometimes if you don't add enough buttons it can kind of hang open a bit. And so yeah, I made the smallest size in this pattern, and I'll put up a picture of me wearing it so you can see how it looks on. The smallest size is the UK 6, and that's designed for bust 31, waist 23, hips 31, which is quite a lot smaller than me. But actually the finished garment measurements for the size 6 are bust 38, waist 38, hips 50. So there's loads and loads of ease in this one, and I didn't want it to be too oversized on me. And actually, even with that size, I did still take in a little bit on the bodice, so it does come up really quite large. I also added on waist ties for my version, so you can see them here, just to cinch it in a little bit at the waist, and I quite like the effect that gives. But yeah, it was a really fun sew. It comes together quite quickly. I don't know whether it's a beginner pattern or... I'd say if you were kind of had a few sewing projects under your belt, it'd be a good one for kind of upping your skills, because there are a few nice bits like putting the button placket in and the bias binding, and some gathering for the sleeves. So there's a few little bits, but I find Cocowawa patterns instructions really clear, so they're a nice one to work through. So I'm really pleased I sewed this one up. I have worn it already and I really enjoyed wearing it, and it's quite nice and light and relaxed and breezy to wear, so a perfect one for summer. So that is the Cocowawa Crafts Plum dress. I'm glad I've added another one to my wardrobe, and I really like the idea of one in a wintry fabric with the long sleeve version too. Maybe like a corduroy or something I think would look really lovely for winter. But yeah, I won't be thinking about that now. I'm still going to enjoy this summery weather while we have it. So the next make I've got to share with you is a bit of an unusual one for me, because it's a pair of trousers, a pair of summery trousers. And I'm not usually a big trouser wearer in summer. I love my jeans in winter, but generally I don't wear any other types of trousers, and I haven't really sewn any trousers because I don't really wear them. I've made a couple of pairs of shorts, but I've never really ventured into trouser territory. But this year, I've kind of seen a few ready-to-wear sort of high street pairs of trousers that kind of got me a little bit inspired, that were sort of high-waisted and quite sort of wide-legged, almost like culottes. And they look quite relaxed, paired with sort of a vest top or something. And I thought maybe I'll give these a go because they're a relaxed fit. The fitting shouldn't be too critical, so it'll be a nice starter pair of trousers. And I can see how I get on with them. And because I wasn't really sure if they were going to be my sort of thing, I thought I'd use a pattern I already had rather than looking for a new pattern. So I decided to make them using a pattern from this book here, which is the Make It Simple book by Tilly and the Buttons, her most recent book, although it's been out for a while now. And I made a couple of other patterns in this book. I've made the Bertha cardigan, which I really like, and also the Tabitha t-shirt dress. But I decided for the trousers to make the Sofia trousers, and I'll show you the line drawings here. They're quite a basic pair of trousers with an elasticated waist, but there's quite a nice detail of a flat front at the waistband, which I thought would look quite nice. And you can add pockets if you want, but they're quite light, wide-legged and quite high-waisted, so I thought they'd fit the bill. And what's quite cool actually is they're quite hackable as well, so I thought if I liked them I could always have a go using the hacks in the book. So there's a hack in the book to turn them into a set of dungarees, which I've seen some pairs of on Instagram. They look really nice. And then also into a play suit as well, which I think also looks really nice. So I thought it would be good to give them a go and see how I got on. And in terms of sizing on these ones, they go from a size UK 6 to 20 up to size UK 24, and the smallest is 24 inches waist and 33-inch hips, up to a waist of 42 inches and hips of 51 inches. So unfortunately it's not the biggest size range. I know Tilly and the Buttons now are releasing their new patterns in 2 size ranges. They go up to a larger size, but this was released before they started doing that. But yeah, they're designed for light to medium weight drapey fabrics, and I wanted to make them in a really lightweight fabric, and I got some viscose from Rainbow Fabrics, which was a new it's a new website to me. It was the first time I made a purchase from them, but I've seen loads of people making really nice things from them on Instagram, so I thought I'd give them a try. And I think a lot of their fabric is ex-designer dead stock fabric, which is great from a sustainable perspective, I guess, using that fabric. So yeah, the fabric I got is this lovely viscose challis with these white flowers on, so kind of a monochrome print. I thought that would work quite well for trousers because I could kind of match it with like a plain black or a plain white top, and that would look quite nice. Yeah, it's really nice and lightweight and breezy, and it was really nice to sew with. So these are my versions. So you can see the flat front there and the elastic at the back. And I've added pockets. I didn't actually use the pattern pieces from the book for the pockets because what I did with this pattern was, because I wanted to make sure it was really high-waisted, I added on a few extra inches at the top of the pattern because I've got quite a long body down to the crotch anyway, just to make sure I could get them really high-waisted and they wouldn't sit too low. And the pocket pattern pieces in the pattern are designed to kind of be sewn on and attached as well to the waistband, but I wasn't sure if the waistband was the right height for me. So I just added pockets into the side seams instead, and then I could have a play around with the height of the waistband. But yeah, I think I added on maybe, let me have a look, 5 centimetres. I added on 5 centimetres to the top of these, and actually that came out just about right. So yeah, I didn't need to make any adjustments, but I'll put a picture up so you can see how they look. So I made the size 2 at the waist, and then I graded out to size 3 at the hips, which is pretty much my sizing. Yeah, so size 2 at the waist is 26 inches. And size 3 at the hips is 37 inches, so slightly bigger than me, but I thought, well, it's not too critical. I'd rather be a little bit bigger and a little bit small, and the fabric's so drapey, it'll hang nicely anyway. So those are they. So I made them extra high-waisted, and I'm really glad I did because I like where they sit on me. And then I cropped them, as you can see, to make them into more of a culotte style trouser. So they're really comfy to wear. I haven't actually worn them out and about yet. It's been so hot I've had my sort of summery dresses on, but I'm definitely really looking forward to wearing them out, and they do feel really comfy. And so hopefully I'll get some good wear out of them this summer. I think they'll be quite practical for days out and stuff. And yeah, the fabric is really nice from Rainbow Fabrics Kilburn. And I've placed another order with them recently actually, which I'll be showing in my next fabric haul. So yeah, definitely keen to order from them again. But yeah, those are my Sofia trousers from Tilly and the Buttons. They were really straightforward to sew. Actually, they whipped up super quickly. So if you're looking for a speedy, satisfying sew, I definitely recommend that. And it's nice because the fit isn't too critical again on these because it's an elasticated waist, so as long as you get the elastic to fit you where you want, really the sizing isn't too critical. So yeah, that's Sofia trousers in viscose challis from Rainbow Fabrics. I'm glad I did decide to give trousers a go. So the next garment I've got to share with you is not actually a new make for July, but it's a refashion. I recently did a vlog talking about my handmade wardrobe edit, where I'd sort of gone through my handmade wardrobe and looked at the garments and found a few garments that weren't really working for me that I wanted to hand on, and a few other garments that I loved but I wasn't wearing for a particular reason, and I thought maybe I could alter to make them work better and that I could wear them more. And one of those garments was a Freya dress, and it was made using this book here, the Tilly and the Buttons stretch book, and it's my favourite pattern from this book. So it's this pattern here. It's a kind of straightforward jersey top with long sleeves or shorter sleeves, and you can make it with a mock neckline, but there are some other necklines available too, but that's my favourite neckline. And you can make it either into an A-line dress or a top. And I'd made a Freya dress quite early on in my sewing journey using this really lovely cotton jersey fabric, which is navy blue with these white dragonflies on, and I really loved it. But the reason I was wanting to refashion this is because I'd made it a bit short, and I put a picture up of me wearing it as a dress so you can see. I don't know what happened when I was making this. I think I had pre-washed the fabric, so I don't think it's just washed shorter and the arms are still the right length. I think I just made a bit of an error of judgment and cut it a little bit too short. And whenever I wore it, I felt a little bit uncomfortable and I was kind of tugging it down, so I wasn't really enjoying it. But I love the fabric. And so, yeah, I thought, in case you were wondering what I decided to do with it, I had a bit of a quiet moment and I thought, well, I'm just going to get on with it, and I decided to crop it off and turn it into a Freya top. So there, as you can see, it's now top length. And it was really straightforward. I just figured out how long I wanted the top to be, chopped it off, and then the only thing I had to do other than that was just to adjust the curve here to the bottom, because the skirt is designed to be A-line, so it kind of was going out like this and it looked a bit pointy at the bottom, so I just needed to add a little more of a curve to the bottom as it reaches my hips, just so it fit nicely around that area. But it was really straightforward and a really quick fix, and I'll put a picture of me wearing it now with a pair of jeans. And yeah, I think I'll get loads of wear out of it. Navy is one of my sort of favourite colours to wear in winter, so I've got loads of things that will go well with, like pinafore dresses and skirts and jeans. So I'm hoping I'll get a lot more wear out of it and really enjoy wearing it, because I do love this fabric. So I thought I'd just show that with you in case you'd watched my handmade wardrobe edit vlog, just to give some closure on one of my refashions. But I'll put a link down to that vlog in case you do fancy checking it out. It'll be in the description box below. But that was my mini refashion. It was really quick, and I'm glad that hopefully I'll get a lot more wear out of this one this winter and won't feel so uncomfortable that I'm wearing something a bit too short. So the next make I've got to share with you is actually one for my daughter rather than me, and I made it using some fabric I got gifted to me by Minerva in exchange for a blog post, and that blog post is now live, so I'll include a link down below to the fabric and the blog post in case you fancy checking them out. But I was gifted this really lovely cotton jersey with cats on, and my daughter is a big fan of kittens and cats, so when I saw this fabric I knew it would be right up her street. But it's really cute. It's kind of like a dusky sort of pink colour, and it's got little kittens on that look really playful and lots of little white spots, and I thought it would make a perfect set of pyjamas for her. And we're in the middle of summer now. She's got a few pairs of summer pyjamas already, so I thought I'd make her a pair of more wintry pyjamas, because she'll need those, yeah, as we approach the bit cooler weather. So I'd got 2 meters of this fabric, and I made a little pyjama set using 2 patterns I already had. And so here's the pyjama top, as you can see, and I kind of added this ribbing on in this hot pink colour, which she really liked, and I did some sort of hot pink stitching round, just to add a little detail. And then I've got the pyjama bottoms here too. Here they are, and again I used this sort of hot pink on the pockets too. And the patterns I used are, for the top I used this pattern here, which is the Kids Anything But Basic tee, and it's by DIBY Club. I think it stands for Do It Better Yourself Club. And they have some really great free patterns on their website. Yeah, it's a free pattern just available to download, really straightforward. And it's just a basic t-shirt pattern, and it comes in a regular fit and a slim fit, and it goes from ages 18 months to 12, so really broad size range. And it's just a basic t-shirt pattern. So to make my daughter's pyjama top, I made a couple of alterations, which is basically I lengthened the sleeve and then added a little cuff on to make it more pyjama-y. And I made size 5 for her, age 5, in the regular fit, and that she's 5, and that came up just right, so it's nice and true to size. And it's a really great pattern. It also has the layers function available when you download it, so you don't have to print off all the sizes. You can just print off the one size you want, or a couple of sizes if you want to grade, so it makes it quite straightforward. So that's the top pattern I used, great free pattern. And then for the bottoms, which are here, I used the mini Hudson pants pattern, which is the pattern I already had, and that's by True Bias. And I'll include line drawings so you can see they're just a great little jogging bottom pattern, with a nice little detail that you can add a nice little pretty colour here, and then I added on cuffs at the bottom in the same colour to match, and it's got an elasticated waist, and you can add a little cable through here but my daughter just wanted to keep it really simple. And because they're in cotton jersey, they're nice and lightweight, so perfect for pyjama bottoms. I've made these in French terry for more snuggly jogging bottoms to wear out and about, but the lightweight cotton jersey is perfect for pyjamas, I think. And again, I made the age 5 for her, and that came up right. And I'll put up a picture of her wearing them so you can see. She's really pleased with them, and I think they're really cute, and I like the little hot pink details we've added. She really liked those details. So yeah, they're fun, so quite quick to make up. I had 2 meters of fabric gifted to me by Minerva, and for those I managed to squeeze these out, and then I made one other make for her as well because I had just enough fabric left, which is here. I just made her a little pair of leggings in the same fabric. So yeah, with the simple elasticated waist, just a very straightforward pair of leggings. You can see she's already worn these ones. She was crawling around the carpet yesterday, so they need a bit of a wash. They got a bit scruffy on the knees. But yeah, I made a little pair of leggings too, and I thought I'd share that pattern as well because it's another free pattern that I found online. I've recently been getting quite into free patterns for children, I think. Particularly for children, I'm a little less bothered about the fits because they're not going to be wearing them for so long, they're going to grow out of them quickly, so I thought I'd just happy to give them a go. So this pattern I found on the Love Notions website, and I'd never tried a Love Notions pattern before, but it's just their girls leggings pattern. It's another pattern that's free to download. It's a basic leggings pattern. It's got 2 different waistline options. You can either make a plain elasticated waist, which is what I made, or you can make like a yoga pant waist, which doesn't need elastic, and you just make it using the jersey fabric itself. But I'll put up a picture of the line drawings of the leggings so you can see. And they whipped up nice and quickly. I would mention, if you're interested in this pattern, that they are very slim-legged. My daughter has got quite slim little legs, and they do come up quite fitted on her, so that's worth bearing in mind. Also, I found the actual fit, I made age 5, and the actual fit was quite good around the leg and the length, but I found the waist measurements on their pattern seemed really large compared to her waist. Her waist was like age 2 or something according to that pattern, and she's not got a particularly small waist, I don't think. So it was quite easy though, because all I needed to do was cut a slightly smaller piece of elastic to kind of pull it in around the waist, and I think that looks fine. So I just cut the straight age 5 and then just cut a smaller piece of elastic to bring it in around the waist. So I thought that was a bit funny that the leg was quite a slim fit, but the waist seemed to come up large, but just worth bearing in mind. Anyway, she really likes them. She's really happy to have a little pair of cat leggings too. So I was glad I was able to squeeze them out of the 2 meters of fabric so that I got a pyjama set and a pair of leggings too. So that's, yeah, the make using this lovely cat print cotton fabric from Minerva. Oh, and I thought I'd mention, in terms of sizing on the Love Notions girls leggings pattern, it goes from size or age 2 to 14. So it's got a really broad size range. And again, a bit like the ABBT, when you download the pattern, it has a layers function. So you don't have to print out every single size. You can just choose the size or sizes you need. So I thought that's really great, and I'm really getting into these children's free patterns. Such a great resource, and a great way I think also to try new pattern brands. See whether you like their instructions and whether you might want to then go on to buy other patterns by them. So my next make I've got to share with you is the final summery dress I made this month. And it's also my most involved make I made this month because I decided to make a hack. And it took a bit of time to sort of figure out how I wanted to hack the garment and to get it all right, so it looked how I wanted it to. But I made it using 2 beautiful fabrics I got from First Fabrics. They were kind of the inspiration or the starting point. And they're these fabrics here. As you can see, I've kind of put them together to make a colour blocked sort of dress. And they're tencels, so they're really nice and lightweight and swishy, and I thought perfect for summer. Yeah, really soft too. And it came in 2 different colourways, a denim colour with ivory sort of tones, and an ivory colour with denim, so kind of, yeah, reversible almost. And they really reminded me of the Atelier Brunette Shade Viscose range, which I think came out maybe a year or 2 ago, which is really lovely and I admired at the time and thought it was really pretty. But yeah, when I saw these came out, I thought, oh, they're lovely. They just remind me of that. But they were quite reasonably priced actually, yeah, really good price for them. So I thought I could buy a decent amount to be able to have a play and make them into maxi dress. I thought it'd be really nice to have a go of colour blocking too. So if you saw my July sewing plans vlog, you'll know that I initially thought that I might do a self-drafted maxi dress, but then I was getting out all my summery clothes when we had the lovely weather in July, and I got out my Ogden cami tops, and I thought, I've seen some beautiful hacks of the Ogden cami on Instagram, and I've never tried it myself, and I thought that might actually be perfect to make a maxi dress using that as the sort of base. So I thought I'd show you the pattern. I'm sure you've seen this pattern before. It's like an indie classic. This is Ogden Cami by True Bias. It's a really lovely camisole top designed for woven fabrics, of lightweight woven fabrics. You only get the one variation in the pattern. It's really basic, but it's just such a goodie, and it's such a wearable pattern, and it's great for hacking as well because it's such a simple base to kind of work from. But yeah, it's got a deep V neckline and spaghetti straps, and it's designed to be quite a loose fitting top, so there aren't any darts or fastenings, so it's quite simple. I think it's designed as an advanced beginner pattern because there are some fiddly bits, like getting that V neckline to sit nicely, and you have to understitch it, so it's quite fiddly, and also inserting the straps can be a bit fiddly. So there are a few fiddly bits, but it's quite straightforward, and it's just a really kind of classic sort of elegant top, I think. And it's available in 2 size ranges. So I've got the US size 0 to size 18 size range. It's also available in a US size 14 to 30 size range, and for that version there's a couple of changes to the pattern. The straps are slightly wider to accommodate bra straps underneath, and also some bust darts added in for shaping. But this version, yeah, is really basic, no darts, just really simple. So I decided to use that as a base for hacking to turn into a tiered colour blocked maxi dress. So how I did that was, I'll show you my dress actually first so you can see what I'm talking about. Here it is. So it's got the Ogden bodice here, and I cropped it off a little bit short and added on 3 tiers, first in the blue, then in the white, and then the blue. And I'll put a picture up so you can see how it looks, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So I cropped the bodice by a few inches just to kind of get it to approximately my natural waist. And I used the size, the smallest size for the bodice, the size 0, which I think is pretty much my measurements. Let's have a look. Yeah, so the measurements on the smallest size is chest 32, waist 26, hips 34, and I knew the hip measurement wouldn't be critical anyway because I was cropping it off, and then I'd be adding a gathered skirt with plenty of volume for the hips. So I made the size 0. And then I added in waist ties to sort of cinch it in around the waist, just to give it a little bit of shaping, as you can see from the picture. But it was a really fun make. It did take me a while figuring out things like how much volume I wanted in the tiers and how long I wanted the tiers to be. I decided I didn't want it to be too voluminous. I'm not a big maxi dress wearer generally, so I didn't want it to feel too big on me and too swishy. I wanted it to be fairly a sort of relaxed silhouette. So I did each tier. So I started with the bodice width, and then for the first tier, I think I times it by about 1.35 to get the width of the first tier, and then each time again I times it by about 1.35 because I'd had a look online and a lot of people said for a basic gathered skirt times by 1.5, but I wanted to be a bit less gathered, so I'm quite happy with how it turned out. Actually the bottom layer doesn't feel too heavy or too full, so I quite like that. What else to mention about this? Oh, so the Ogden cami itself has, rather than a full lining, it has a facing inside, but kind of it goes down to just under your bust. But instead of adding a facing on the dress, what I decided to do was I cut 2 pieces of the front and the back bodice, and then I attached the skirt onto just the outside bodice, and then what I did was I slip stitched underneath, and you can see here, the inside, on the lining side of the bodice, I just slip stitched it to enclose the seam around the waist. So I think that's quite a neat finish. And because the tencel was quite delicate, I wanted to protect all the seams because I didn't want it to fray at all. And then I also added on, I used French seams for the side seams of the skirt pieces because they were going to be exposed. So where are they? There's a French seam. There's a French seam for the side seams of the skirts. And then for each tier, when I gathered it, I then made bias tape in this fabric and enclosed it using double folded bias tape. So there aren't any seams that are overlocked or left raw or anything. Everything is French seamed or enclosed or use double folding bias tape. So I'm really pleased with the finish on it. It did take me a while, but it was quite satisfying to get it all really neat like that. I've written a blog post where I talk all about the hack and how I did it in more detail, so I'll include a link down below in case you'd like to read a little bit more about that and see a few more pictures of this dress. I'm really pleased with how it turned out. It did take a while, and there was a bit of kind of pinning and then taking it apart, and yeah, just to make sure I got it just right. But I really love it now, and the fabric's so lightweight and floaty. It doesn't really feel like I'm wearing a full length dress in a way because it's so light, which suits me well, as I said, because I'm not a big maxi dress wearer. And I'm pleased with the ties as well. I like how it's cinched in around the waist, but I don't have to pull it too tight, so it can be quite relaxed feeling still. So that is my Ogden cami hack. It's really inspired me, and I'd love to do another hack of the Ogden cami in future. I really enjoyed that, and I'm really happy with the finish on that one too. So that was actually my last sewing make I've got to share with you this month. But I also had one knitting project that I finished this month that I thought I'd share too. And it's another creature from this book here, which is Knitted Cats and Dogs by Sue Stratford. So if you watch my channel for a while, you'll know that I was knitting my way through the Knitted Cats and Kittens book by Sue Stratford. And then my children saw this book and said, could I possibly get that and maybe try knitting some dogs too? So I did, and they've been requesting some dogs in this book. And the one I finished knitting this month was one for my son, and it's this one here, which is quite a cute pup. He's called Bullseye, but I kind of think of him as Patch because he's got these really cute little patches. And he's designed to made an Aran yarn, so it's fairly quick knit because it's slightly more chunky than double knit, and quite a straightforward one as well. There's quite a variety of projects in this book. Some of them are really quite complicated and others are more straightforward. And I'd say this one is more on the more straightforward end of the scale. And here is my version. So here is Patch, as I call him. He's got the eye patch and the tummy patch here, which you can add on afterwards. So you can always add on more patches if you want to, or even turn him into, I guess, a spotty Dalmatian, I guess, if you had lots of patches. And he's got a little black tail at the back, and yeah, cute little paws, and one black ear and one white ear. And so yeah, I think he's really cute actually. And he was an enjoyable knit and did actually knit up and sew up quite quickly. The sewing up wasn't too fiddly. My daughter has requested a pup, which I'm now knitting up, which is more fiddly, both in the sewing and in the actual knitting, and then in the sewing up too. So yeah, I'm partway through that one, so hopefully I'll be able to share that one next month. But my son really likes this one. I think he's quite a friendly looking pup, so yeah, I'm happy with how he turned out. But here's my final make of the month. So that's everything I made in July. Some summery dresses in there, a pair of trousers, which I'm hopefully going to enjoy wearing, and a couple of bits for my daughter. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Thank you so much for staying with my channel and watching my vlogs. I really do appreciate it, and I love your comments too. If you have enjoyed this vlog, I would love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, I would love it if you would consider subscribing. And like I've mentioned before, if you hit the bell icon too, you'll find out when my new future vlogs come out too. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope it's been sunny wherever you are too, and you've had a chance to get out your summery mermaids, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.